you do not have to be technologically savvy to be a coach, and that is evident because we could not figure out how to do it. We've heard and we have done in other areas of our life that you can like stream a Zoom into Facebook so that you can just watch it live, but I don't know what we were doing wrong. So just kidding, we will just get this going. So thank you for jumping on this Not So Live about the coaching opportunity and what our team is all about. So in the past, we've done like webinars with slides and information, but we really just wanted to share our stories and our heart, because when you become a coach, everything is very personal. We all have a different story of how we found Beachbody, how we got started as coaches, what our journey has been like, why we're here. And once somebody decides to be a coach, you figure out the rest, right? So that's just kind of it. But I did want to give you a quick little history. My name is Samantha Rosenthal, and I am the founder of Team Bold Fitness. And I have been a Beachbody coach for 5 years now. So just a little history on Beachbody, just because I do think it's important, is that Beachbody was founded as an infomercial at-home workout program company in like 97, and they actually were doing ridiculously well in regards to like revenue and funds, and like they had, think back, like P90X, if you've ever heard that, it's referenced in movies like all the time, and it's one of like the OG programs, Tony Horton, and a lot of other ones. And what happened was that they were doing really, really great. They were doing awesome. And as the rise of social media happened, they found that people were creating these message threads and these message like email, IM chat, like message board kind of a thing, talking about these programs and staying accountable. And eventually the company, because the company's mission, and it's always been very, very clear, and our CEO, Carl Deichler, he's the co-founder, he is always very, very clear that Beachbody's job is to help people live healthier and more fulfilling lives. Healthier, happier, more fulfilling lives. And so, great, he makes awesome products. He makes awesome workouts that are kicking people's butts and transforming their lives. But it doesn't matter if they can't stick to it. And so what happened was, when he was seeing that, oh my gosh, these people are creating these message threads, holding people accountable, and then they're finishing the programs, they're getting transformations, their lives are, they're happier, they're healthier, and then that is the missing link he felt. And so that is when the coaching opportunity was born. And so what we do as coaches is that we're compensated from the company, not through our clients directly, is to help people stay accountable to these awesome programs, because you can have all the resources at your fingertips, but sometimes you need someone to help you walk you through it. And so through Beachbody On Demand, we have hundreds of different workouts and all these different full complex programs with nutrition programs and recipes and all the stuff. And we as coaches get to be someone who just holds someone's hand and says, let me help you. Let's do this together. And I love that I'm a coach. And so essentially what we do is we work on ourselves. As coaches, we don't have to have all the answers. We don't have to have a quote unquote beach body. We just have to be willing to show up and try, and to always try to be better than yesterday, and just work on ourselves. And then we host these accountability groups for our team as coaches and for our challengers, which is what we call like our clients. And we just say, let's just all do this together. I can't come to your house and scream at you to do more burpees, but I can encourage you to push play. I can encourage you to get your vegetables in, drink your Shakeology. If you need energy, we got Energize, and we can help each other. So that's what we do as coaches. But I want to turn it over to some of the members of our team, and they're going to tell you why they got started. And in our stories are going to be some of the information that maybe the questions you have, like, hey, do I have enough time for this? Or do I even know what I'm doing? Am I ready to take this on? In their stories of why they started, you'll hear how they just decided that it was time. So I'm going to pass it over, and we can just pass it through like the list says.
Perfect. So I think I'm next. So I'm Danielle. Welcome to everyone who's here. I just want to share a little bit about me. I joined Beachbody last January of 2019, and prior to that, in October before my doctor, I had like a physical. My husband was pushing me to go. I went, and my doctor was like, "So what's up with your weight?" And he was like, like everything's coming back fine, but like you're overweight. And he used the word large, which some people take offensively. I was like, thank the Lord he didn't say extra large. Like I will take large all day long. And I was like, I know, and it's where I've always struggled. And he's like, you're going to need to be medicated soon if you don't lose weight, right? Your joints are going to bother you. Your blood pressure is going to be high. Like you need to do something. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. And I would do 2 days on and then fall back off. And I would be doing some things and not. And so I had been watching Sam coaching for a long time. And I was like, she's got 3 kids and she was doing this in a hotel room and she's been doing it pregnant. Like, I'll join. And so I joined in January and I worked through Transform 20, loved the program. It was 6 weeks, 20 minutes a day, like something that worked for my schedule. And I saw results. I lost 10 pounds and like 13 inches off my body in 6 weeks. And so I was amped and I was like, you know what? I know myself. I tried to lose weight before and I'm like, I know what I'm doing. I got this. And then I don't do what I'm supposed to do when I fall off the wagon. And so I decided to be a coach to hold myself accountable in my own fitness journey. So I knew that if people were watching me, then I was going to be more likely to do the things I'm supposed to do and not half-ass it. And so that was the biggest motivating factor for me to become a coach. And then additionally, I was like, well, I could earn money and I can help people. And so earning a paycheck was really important because I thought, you know what, I might just pick up some waitressing shifts. I'm going to go back to that just so I can get out of debt. I've got a lot of student loans to pay off. I did a undergraduate degree and a master's degree at a Catholic private college, so like big bills. And I was like, I got to do something. And I thought, well, if I can do this and not leave my kids and not pay a babysitter, it will be perfect. And it has been. And the thing I think that was the hardest thing for me to overcome was like, I was like, well, I'm not like skinny enough. I don't have a big enough transformation to become a coach. And that's really, I think, the silliest thing to think of because I look at people who are doing the same thing as me and I'm like, all right, she's doing it, I can do it. All right, she's doing it, I can do it. So I think the biggest motivation that I can tell you is even if you think you can't be a coach because you're not where you want to be, more people are apt to join you while you're on your journey than when you get to the end of your journey. So I think it's you, Shayna.
Okay. Okay, can you guys hear me? All right. So hi, I'm Shayna. I am a military wife. So my husband's active duty Air Force, has been for 15 years. And I needed something that, one, I could afford, and two, that I could take anywhere because we move a lot. And the day that I started my first workout, this go around, was the day we were moving out of our house. So our house is freshly empty. I took over the basement as the sun was rising, got a good workout in, and knew that I felt good. I had signed up to be a discount coach because for me, I just wanted it at a cheaper cost. Like if I can get something cheaper, I do. That's how I roll. But I hadn't really planned on super working the business. So I was like, maybe some people will see, but I didn't really fully comprehend what that meant. And as I started to move along my journey, which is really the premise of what all of us are sharing with others, is just our journey. As a coach, that's kind of like the main hitter, is just being a little vulnerable and sharing. I found community. And I've been super fortunate to have girlfriends, in high school and college. I've found kind of like a couple of peeps that I can roll with. But with how much we move in the military, and sometimes the dynamic of, I've been a working mom up until now. Sometimes that dynamic has been kind of tough to find like other military moms or other people that I could really jive with. They're really, you know, have that growth mindset. They really want more for themselves. They want to continue to grow as a parent, as a wife, as a woman. And in joining the Beachbody community, I will admit I kind of like, I dipped my toe, right? We all kind of do that sometimes. Like maybe you find a really cute t-shirt and you're like, oh, I'll buy one. And then you love it. You go back and you buy all the colors, right? Like we're toe dippers sometimes. And so I had just kind of tried to see, and I shared a little bit, and then I sort of started to back off and fall into old habits and just kind of do my thing. I was like, oh, I don't have time for this, but really I just wasn't making time. I actually had a conversation with Sam and we talked about, you know, what was I doing when I was feeling happier? And ultimately, long story short, I decided I was happier when I was sharing my story. I was happier when I was making those connections with people. And as a fit camper, we find connections because we're like, oh, she has a kiddo too that she was using to do bicep curls today. Like, rad. But when you're a coach and you're accountable, you really feel a little more oops, to find that time, make that time. You realize how good it makes you feel to act into the person that you want to be. And some days it's a struggle, and some days it can be tough. And you know what? I think that's when this community of coaches rallies even harder. Right now, we are in a season that is crazy. We are finding ways that we have to give grace to ourselves that we never thought we would. And we're having to find ways to make time for things in a chaotic world. We may not know how much homework our kid is going to have and whether they're going to be in their room for 30 minutes doing stuff or 2 hours, or if we're going to have to help them through it. So it can be hard, but I think when you make the commitment and when you feel yourself kind of blooming, if you will, not to be too flowery, because you are acting into the person that you really want to be, you start to take strides that are phenomenal. And when you have a team of women to rally behind you on a tough day and to remind you to give yourself grace and to remind you that it's okay to be vulnerable and say like, hey, today sucked, like, ugh. But I still did this one thing and this one thing, and I feel super good about it. Having that kind of community rally behind you, I think really just propels you forward. And so that's one thing that I've gained, and I can take it just like my workouts anywhere I want to go.
Okay, let me see. Now, can you hear me? Okay, I'm on my phone, but I'm also on my computer, so I had to unmute in both places, so apologies for that. Hi guys, I'm Madison. If you don't know me, I am a mom of 3, so I apologize beforehand if people come running in the room. I have 5-month-old twins and a 5-year-old daughter who are somewhere in my house miraculously leaving me alone at the moment, so I'm gonna just knock on wood that that stays there. Yes, my cat always likes to get into the camera too. So it's just, this is my life. We are all crazy. So a little bit about me. I have been a coach since, I believe, May of 2018. I cannot believe it's been pretty much 2 years since the wonderful Sam convinced me to jump in. And I will tell you that Sam was talking to me for probably a year before I decided to jump in. It's an investment. I was scared. I didn't have time. I didn't have money. There was no way I could do this. And then I realized that there was no way I could not do this. I needed, not only for my health, my cholesterol and like glucose levels were starting to peak up there, and I have hypothyroidism. So I really needed to kind of take control of my own body. And I figured I'm just going to jump in and become a discount coach because, again, like Shayna said, I want anything I can get for less money, I'm going to do. So similar to her and to Danielle, I had health issues I was looking to take care of for my own reasons, but I was also looking for a community. I had a 2-year-old at the time. I felt very isolated in my own world. My best friends lived in different states. I had a lot of friends who had kids at different times than me, so I didn't really have a huge mom community around me. And I just felt kind of lost in my own world. I was working 60 hours a week at a job that I was not passionate about, and diving headfirst into wife and motherhood time after work. So I had no time for me. I started this just thinking of the discount, and then decided that where I have a marketing background, I just wanted to tell everybody about this. The products were so good for me and helped me so much that I wanted to help other people feel good. My goal originally was to just get people to sign on to fit camps, come join me, get healthy, take care of your body. And that was good for me for a while. I was like, that's as far as I want to go. Just get some people healthy, share this gift. Then last year, I attended my first summit. Now, Summit's this annual conference that the company puts on where hundreds of thousands of coaches come together. You can be just a discount coach where you don't work the business, all the way to people who are in like the $1 million club in this business, right? Like, it's a wide range of people. I got to hug Sam and Rachel for the first time. I had been talking to these women for so long, and I'd never physically met them, and it felt like I had known them my whole life. I felt so warm and fuzzy. I just had all these people around me that were now my people. These were my friends. They were also kind of my first like adult friends I had made in adulthood, right? Like, I had friends from high school that I still had in my life. These were my first like non-9-to-5 work related friends. I was just stoked. Plus I was pregnant. They did a great job of helping me have fun, even being pregnant with twins. It was just so great. And that was a huge incentive for me, that I could go on a girls' trip like this. We're there, and I'm sitting and I'm learning about some of the other incentives that they offer that I didn't even really know about. One of them is an annual trip for people. You can earn an invite to this all expenses paid trip. This year it was supposed to be Punta Cana, RIP Punta Cana because of silly coronavirus. But next year it's Mexico. And I remember sitting there and thinking to myself, like, God, it'd be so cool if I could be successful enough that I could get an invite to one of these trips, right? Like, you must have to put so much time in to get an invite to one of these trips. There's no way I could do it, but maybe one day. And I came home and I told my husband that. I said, maybe someday, babe, someday I'll take you to Mexico. One day I'll be successful enough that I'll get an invite and we can go. Fast forward to February of this year, and I get an email. You are invited to 2021 Mexico, all expenses paid for you and one other person. And I was like, wait, I didn't spend 70 hours a week doing business last year. Like, there's no way I was successful enough to get this invite. And then comes Sam knocking me over the head, being like, girl, you were consistent. You showed up. You helped women. You did what you were supposed to do. That made you successful. And that's why you get this invite. I remember I felt different. I all of a sudden was like, well, this was just a discount. This was just a hobby. This was just to help people. Now I want to grow a team. I'm at the next level. I want to grow a team of other women who can do this too. You can take your family on cruises. You can take all of your children with you on all expense paid trips. You can make extra money to take your kids to Disney World. You can just be more present because you are more patient and loving because you're taking care of your body. There are so many levels of the goodness and incentives and gifts and just wonderful things that this business has given me, that it made me catch a vision. So I went from needing just some health stuff to meeting some friends to I got goals now, and I've got 3 kids who I want to be able to bring places. And this money is just all extra to me. I have a 9-to-5 job. I have, my livelihood there, but this is all used for fun, for great things for myself, for my family. And I couldn't be more thankful for it. So keep an eye out for some of the other wonderful things that could come your way if you jump on with us.
Is it me? Okay. Who's next? Anybody else? Bueller? Okay. Sorry. I am Rachel. I am a talker, so I'm going to try really hard not to overdo this. But so I, like some of the other ladies have shared, I actually was facing some health issues as well. I had also gone down the path of like, I don't feel comfortable in my clothes. What are these quick fixes out there? And I tried some of those and nothing worked. Nothing helped. In fact, things made me feel worse. I was literally staring at a pile of medical bills that were amounting to like $1,500 and going, everything comes back normal, which like Danielle, but like something is wrong. I was having crazy symptoms. There was so many symptoms I was experiencing. And every doctor I went to, I said, what about good old fashioned diet and exercise? And they were like, no, it's much worse. It's got to be much worse than that. And I was like, even just like a 10-minute walk and like looking at my diet. And they were like, no. And I even saw a holistic doctor and they were still like, no, you're definitely worse. And I was like, okay, I can keep paying more medical bills for these same answers, or I can trust my gut that I keep asking and I can invest in myself. I had been talking to Sam for, I don't know, it was August, I think, when she first invited me, but I had been watching her creeping on her page for months before we even talked. And then in December of 2018, I decided, okay, what is it? I don't even care. Like, I don't know anything about these shakes. I think they're for bodybuilders. Whatever, just like give me the stuff. Like, I'm just so sick of paying. That's right, Tina. So I got signed up. I said, screw New Year's resolutions. I will never forget. I started December 26, 2018. And literally within days, I had no more symptoms. I have not had a single symptom since starting. And my, I'm sorry, I'm looking at Sam's comment about Shayna's daughter flexing behind her. But I was feeling so good that I kind of, before I even became a coach, I just signed up to be a challenger. I was starting to talk about Beachbody because it had so profoundly changed my life. It literally took my health and flipped it completely around. And that was before I saw any sort of physical change. Other than, I feel like, it sounds silly, but like I feel like my face was brighter. Not like a complexion thing. It was just like my soul felt good and my face radiated that. And so on top of starting all this stuff, I had also started a motherhood blog the year prior. And I was sharing my journey through motherhood. I started it because of a lot of the same reasons here, of like feeling a little bit isolated. I didn't have friends who were in motherhood. I had a son who had reflux really, really bad. And I spent my nights looking online for help from other parents for what they did with reflux. And so in that moment, I was like, I need to start a blog. I need to share my story, which if you read what I shared on our Facebook page, you can learn a little bit more about like my wanting to help others and where that's kind of stemmed from. But so I had already built a little bit of an audience just sharing my motherhood journey. And it wasn't like, these are the 10 best toys to buy. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. That's just not me. It was more like, how do I stop yelling at my kids all day long because I'm not doing well? And so I just very authentically was sharing my journey. And so I just very naturally started to talk about Beachbody because my audience had also seen me wearing a heart monitor for a week and me complaining about how it itched and things like that. And then now I was starting to feel better. And then I got an email and it said, your Shakeology is due to ship. And I was like, shit, shoot dang, sorry. I need a discount on this. So I messaged Sam and was like, I don't want to pay that. Like, how do I pay less? And she was like, actually, we have a discount coach option. And I was like, perfect, sign me up. Where do I go? And then it just really, from there, was super authentic. I think when you start to feel good and you start to love on yourself and you start to realize like, holy moly, this is such a gift. Like, I want to scream this from the rooftops to tell other people, because I think we've all been in that dark, don't feel good, sluggish, don't feel good about ourselves space. And we've worked to get where we are. Like, none of us took a pill. This is work. And so we just want to share it with everybody. And so I am just so grateful to get the messages that I received that say like, I was inspired today to get out and do a 2-mile walk with my kiddos, and I've been sitting in my house for so long. And what you'll learned very quickly with Beachbody is that your success is not in signing up people with a challenge pack. You will feel success when you have those people reach out to you and say, hey, you inspired me. Like legit, y'all just got goosebumps because we get those messages, and it is exactly why every one of us is here. So for me, I would say every single aspect is amazing in its own way, but the community and the ability to share a true gift with somebody else and help them lead a more healthy and fulfilling life, like Beachbody says, is the greatest job I could ever have. And I will wake up every day and bust my butt so that I can help other people. So that's my story.
Oh my gosh, like I have such chills, and I've heard all of your stories before. So I'm Samantha, like I said in the beginning. I've been here the longest, but that doesn't mean like anything in regards to like the little moments of getting that message never gets old. You know what I mean? Like I've been here for 5 years being a coach, and I got started because honestly I was very unhealthy. I ate fast food at least 4 or 5 times a week. I didn't cook. My husband is in hospitality and I was a teacher, and so he was gone at night, and we ultimately ended, we had a baby, and that is when I felt like, okay, I'm alone, I have this baby, I'm super unhealthy, and I just felt this need to be better for him. Guys, I was going to be a teacher my entire life. Like that was what I felt I was born to do. And I got into that profession and loved working with the kids, but didn't love all the other stuff. And then giving my entire heart and soul into a job, and unable to really do anything, including pay for daycare or date night or anything like that. Now, it was hard. It was really frustrating. And so when Carter was born, I wasn't thinking about becoming a coach. I wasn't thinking about doing anything. I had settled in at 22 that, hey, I'm going to be a teacher because that's what I'm supposed to do. I have to check the boxes off the list. I have to go to college. I have to, do the things like this is what you're supposed to do in adulthood. And so I'm on maternity leave and I'm exercising, and I felt better with a 8-week-old than I did in the previous 25 years of my life. I had more energy, and not to be disgusting, but my digestive tract was very regular, and I used to have a lot of pain with that, and I went to GI specialists, and it was a constant thing. And when your GI tract is backed up, like you're very sluggish, you have low energy, like that's just how it works. I didn't know that because I was so unhealthy, right? And so I just started making these changes, and I was like, I feel incredible. Every single person should feel this good. And these are thoughts I'm having in my head independently. Now then, I'm in a challenge group. This is way back when we just did things on Facebook, and we now have an app and things like that. And my coach posted this picture with her and her 4 kids, and she was home. And I was about to go back to work, to a job that I knew took all of my energy and all of my soul, leaving me with no money. And not that money is everything, because I truly don't believe that. But if you can't even go to Target and get yourself a shirt, like that's stressful. If you are stressed about paying, daycare for the baby that you just had, that you have to go back to work, it's like this vicious cycle. And I didn't want to leave him. I didn't know you could love something as much as you love your child. Like I didn't know that was a thing until you have that baby. And so I was having these 2 thoughts of like, well, why not me? Why couldn't I grow this business? What is she doing? Not that, nobody's doing anything crazy here, and not to make us seem less, because I think we are doing awesome work. But as coaches, you can hear like we have full-time jobs, and we have kids and more kids and husbands and all the things, and all we're doing every day is showing up for ourselves and helping other people do the same thing. And so I thought, why not me? And so I will tell you that I did get in this business for the financial opportunity, and I didn't own that for a long time because I felt like that would make me seem like salesy. But you can review every single one of my posts for the last 5 years, and you can review all of my coaches who sit right here, and all we do is share our heart. All we do is share, this is my journey. I'm not trying to convince anybody to buy anything that they don't want to, because that doesn't serve me anyways, right? I want to change lives. And I started this business because my life had been changed, and I was telling people anyways, and I was the girl who used to eat fast food all the time, who was then exercising, and I was the person who was using my baby as weights. And I was like, okay, and I have moved, as in the course of my coaching journey, I have moved cross country 3 times with no family, no support. We don't know anyone when we move. Plopped into new cities, transferring my teaching credentials, having more babies. I had 3 babies pretty much back to back, and with a husband who works a corporate job all day, every day. And I put my head down. I wanted to be home with my kids. It didn't take a month. It didn't take 2 months. This is not a get rich quick scheme, and Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success. A coach's success is determined by their ability to hustle. That's it. Like, if you want more, you got to work for it. And so I will never be one of those people who say, hey, come join my team, you're going to make a bunch of money. No, but you can change a bunch of lives, and maybe that money will come as a result in a wonderful, wonderful way. And so I am home with my kids now. I am home with my babies. I had my 3rd baby. When did I have him? September 2018. And I have not really left him. I serve a little bit, not now, because of quarantine. But for the most part, yeah, I've left, and maybe he's been with a sitter for a few hours. Like, this has completely changed my life. And I don't say that lightly. And I know that's a heavy statement. I don't say it lightly, because besides from the ability to be with my kids all the time and to not have to worry about when my first baby took his steps at the sitter's house. And the first time he rolled over was at the sitter's house. And my daughter, I went back to work when she was 5 weeks old. I don't have that. But besides that, I'm a different human, and we all have different layers to our stories. But my story, besides from this, is that I didn't think that I was capable of more. I didn't think that people achieved more outside of the normal struggles of life. You're supposed to struggle with money, right? You're supposed to struggle with how you're going to make ends meet. You're supposed to struggle with your body and your self-talk. I now live in a world where that's not going to be my life for forever. You know, we have very big goals on this team because we want to change the legacy for our family. We want to change the legacies of our family. We want to own homes. We, the women, the freaking women, want to give our families the homes that we want to give them. And like Madison said, the vacations that we want to take them on, the memories. It's not about the income, it's about the legacy. So I will tell you, on this team, there is no pressure. Your goals are your goals. However, if you want to run, we are here to do that with you, because we are looking to change first ourselves and our families, and at the same time of helping all the people around us just shine brighter. And I heard a quote once that said, when you change a mom's life, you change an entire family's life. And I think someone referenced that on this call. But we do so much for our families, and when we're happier, the house is happier, right? Our kids are happier. And so we have a very strong mission. I don't have like a cool statement like Beachbody has, but ultimately we want to change moms' lives, because that means we change families' lives. So I hope so much, if you are looking to get started and you have been in a challenge group, I'm not going to go into all the nitty-gritty details because we just wanted to share our hearts and our stories. Talk to your coach, because when you sign up as a coach, you guys, it is free with your products. So like, Beachbody doesn't want people just signing up and being like, oh, I'm a Beachbody coach, but I don't do the workouts and I don't do the things. That would be silly. Okay. Now that's why that there's a $40 sign up fee. However, when you sign up with the materials you need to be healthy for you, your nutrition, your shake, your workouts for a year, there is no coach sign up fee. So in my mind, when I was looking at my husband and I said, I think I'm going to do this coaching thing. And he said, well, what's the worst that can happen? I said, the worst case scenario, I get super healthy and get a discount. The best case scenario, I come home to Carter. And I said that 5 years ago, and I am home with Carter now. And so anyways, we hope to see you announcing the team. Look for our stories in the group today. That's what we're going to go a little bit more in depth of who we are and all the things. But if you have questions, reach out to your coach because they want to talk to you about this. This has changed their life and they truly want to share it. So that's it. If you want to stop the recording, Rachel.